morning, YouTube. This morning we're going to do a quick review on the DD 3x3 tarp. It's 3 meters by 3 meters, roughly 9'8" by 9'8". Carry this in our backpacks in our cars. Always have a shelter available with that. Today we'll also employ, I keep 4 20-foot, 25-foot wraps with a big metal ring on the end. Just your basic 550 paracord. I keep 4 of these. Back here you can see I've already hung the ridge line and we're going to set the tarp up over the top. We'll also be employing our walking sticks with this because we're going to make a flap on it, and we'll tie those off and then we'll run those down into the ground. But I just wanted to give everybody an idea of what this tarp looks like when it's set up. This particular one is the Coyote Brown. And no, I didn't buy this from the US. These are made in England. The DD tarp, made by DD Hammocks. I do not have the hammock. There's a couple here in the States that I think I might pick up. But this particular tarp's pretty lightweight, weighs in about, I think it's right around 2.8 pounds. But it's very, very, very nice. It's 190T polyester with a PU coating on it. 790 grams according to the package on this. Again, I'm going to set it up over this ridge line here. I won't bore you with the details. You can see I've just wrapped that around the tree. I just did a basic trucker's hitch, tied it off. I hope you guys can see that. In the center of the line, this is 2 of the ones that I keep with the D-rings on it. Oops, sorry about that, guys. And as you can see, it's just tensioned amongst itself right there in the middle. Continues over to this tree. And again, I just put a quick trucker's hitch around the tree. That way I can draw the tension up on it. Got a nice little loop right here. Super simple knot just to tie it off, hold tension on the lines. I can adjust that, make it tighter, looser, whatever I need to do. And once I'm done and undo this particular knot here, this one will just snap free. So anyway, I'll set this tarp up here and we'll give it a look at what it looks like when we're done. That's what it looks like when it's all set up. Again, I put that ridge line probably the base of the rib cage, bottom of the diaphragm. Ran that ridge line across. Then what I did was I came in and I took it off this. One thing that's nice about this particular tarp is that it has 19 different tie outs. There are 16 around the edges, and there are 3 across that main stream, or seam rather, that goes through the center of the tarp. I could actually put a line on that if I had another tree back behind it here, and I could pull that out and really increase the amount of square footage under this. So what I did here then is I have my ridge line coming through, and then I tied a prusik knot, ran it through the edge of the tarp here, and basically just put a toggle in it. Just this right here. That'll hold everything tight. And as long as we've got pressure on this prusik knot, it won't come loose, come free. Again, I have these 20 footers, 25 footers right here, and I put these big D-rings from the hardware store over it. Fits over top of this nicely right here. So I don't have to tie anything off. I can just loop it over. Again, I've got one of the corner tie outs on the tarp set here. And this just comes down to a simple stake in the ground. And I just tied a trucker's hitch up above it, coiled the line sort of around it. But as you can see from this particular vantage point, there is a heck of a lot of room underneath that tarp. We'll just pan around and go kind of all the way around here a little bit. But that's the DD 3x3 tarp. And again, you can see those 3 tie outs that run through that main taped seam, so it shouldn't leak. I haven't tried it in the rain yet. But like everything else, you know, you've got to set them up a couple of times, try different configurations, see what you do and don't like about them. In this particular one, I just put my ridge line roughly along where that second tie out is so that I can have a bit of a flap on it there. And as you can see, the water should cascade and run back behind it if it was raining. I could lower the poles down a little bit here in the front. And in doing that, you know, I could build a small fire outside. I could have all that, you know, the heat that rolls back up, have it roll back through. If I drop the leading edge of the tarp here a little bit and made it a little bit shorter. You know, I mean, I could block a lot of wind with that. But the way this one's configured, I've got quite a bit of room underneath here where I can sit, work. I can set my bedrolls up in the back. Again, at 9 feet, I've got plenty of room. I've got a couple extra feet on either side. If I have my sleeping bag set up, plenty of room. Sorry about the camera motion here, but we'll see if we can't set this up, and I'll sit underneath and kind of give you an idea of just how much space there is in there. Let's see if I can get this positioned in a good spot. As you can see, I'm sitting up on my knees. Plenty of space underneath this. Nothing interferes with it. I could be sitting here quite comfortable. I could be sharpening my knives. I could be, you know, working on some projects. I could stay out of the sun with everything that I have here. The cold steel tomahawk, which I've shown previously, and my Hammocks bush tool, which I've just acquired in the last month or so. Absolutely wonderful. If you're going to have a one-tool option, I would say this would be it. Personally, I am going to carry the hatchet just because it's multifunctional. I can pound steaks with this particular configuration on it. I can reach underneath with this, pull them back out of the ground. I think between these two particular tools, you'd be set for anything that would come your way. Again, I carry these with me everywhere I go. Now, I don't normally have it on my hip, but it's in my backpack, it's ready to go. If we found ourselves in a bad situation, I think we'd be okay. But again, lots of room under here. Boy, if you had your bedroll, a couple of big garbage pails, or maybe one of those stay outdoor longer thermal insulated 5x7 blankets under here, you would have it set. You'd have a very nice shelter. All right, well, this is configuration number 1. Again, I won't bore you with the setup, but I'm going to reconfigure it slightly, and we'll come back and show you what we've got.